Hello, happiest of days today. Today I wanted to review a short story by Clark Ashton Smith. I just read it for the first time on eldritchdark.com. It's called The Ghoul. It was published in 1934 in Short Stories Writing Index called Written. For you folks, I just knocked it out. It took me like 10 minutes. I knocked it out on my way to church. Now, as a reminder, Clark Ashton Smith grew up in the Bay Area in the pulp-era. And he was heavily influential. He wrote a lot of prose poems and prose poems and that sort of thing. He was actually considered by many to be one of the last great American poets. He actually had a collection of his poetry published when he was very, very young. He loved it stuff. He wrote a dictionary when he was a kid too, and so he has a very sort of an eidetic memory so he actually would retain a lot of those words and use them. And he wouldn't use the same words over and over and over again and lean into them like cyclopean, like H.P. Lovecraft will, or his non-Euclidean geometry. He also published at the same time as H.P. Lovecraft and Clark Ashton Smith, both of which are considered two of the great three authors for weird tales in the era, just like he is too. And Lovecraft is probably more well known today because he popularized cosmic horror. He didn't create it with the Cthulhu Mythos and that sort of thing. And that's heavily influential on horror that came later and such. And so he's definitely somebody. And then Robert E. Howard wrote popularized sword and sorcery, like characters like Conan and such. So he's remembered today for those. But Clark Ashton Smith isn't remembered as well today as the other, the big three. His stuff, he wrote all three of the genres that are covers science fiction, fantasy, and horror. But he's actually written some Cthulhu Mythos stuff too. Actually, Lily Howard did too, and some other stuff outside of those. But he unfortunately wouldn't have the same thing. I think he's the better world crafter. I actually think he's the better author than those two. Sorry if you're a Robert E. Howard fan or a Lovecraft fan. But I think he's the better author. I think he's the better crafted thing, right? And that sort of thing. And he was very, very prolific in the pulp era too. And he outlasted the other two, died in the 30s. And that sort of thing. So the Ghoul, basically, and no spoilers, but basically what's happening here, to get you started, we're going to find out that over the last 7 days, people have been dying of very, very mysterious deaths, and witnesses are coming forward to the leader, and they're using words like mom and stuff like that, so it's very clear that, and the names are Arabic, so it definitely seems like this is set in an Arabic era, and ghouls are a big character there too, mythologically, right? So we're going to find out that, and there's several witnesses that are going to come forward, and they're going to say this very, very nice younger guy. And he's very, very well spoken, very, very nice, and so forth. Has been killing and taking these 7 bodies of these people away to a place, and that sort of thing. And so they're coming forward, and he absolutely admits it. He says, "I did it." And then the guy says, "Do you have any reason why it was in a fit of rage or something like that?" He says, "Nope." That he'll let you off with. And then he's like, so you tell me what happens? And he says, "Sure." And now he's going to tell the story, and so forth. And again, it wasn't even 10 minutes. I read it on the way to church on Wednesday, so I don't want to take too much of your time going over. But basically, then what's happening is the story of what happened. This young, great guy who everybody loved and thought was a really, really strong and upstanding guy, and he's down on the fall. And that sort of a thing. I think it's a great thing. The ending, however, tries to be a Clark Ashton Smith ending. Clark Ashton Smith is known for his endings that really sort of rip things out. But this one, I saw coming. I predicted it happening. And that sort of a thing. I said, yeah, this is what's going to happen. As soon as you see that, has the setup for it. And that sort of a thing. And so I think that drops it, but it's definitely well written, well crafted. It's not that long, not that thing. It definitely has some great world building and such, but you don't have to spend too much time like spending an extra 15, 20 minutes and saying, why am I having all this world building in a short story? Right? That's novels. That's not short stories, and that's another thing. So because the trick ending is good, it is, but it was expected by me. I'm sure you might also expect it too. This is probably more like a 7 out of 10. It's fine. If somebody gave me a short story review that I written in the 30s, 90 years later, I'd be fine giving it a 7 out of 10 too, a 70%, right? And that sort of thing. But yeah, it's good. I liked it, but I thought it was well written, well crafted, and that sort of thing. But again, the ending was, if it had been more of a surprise, might have raised this to an 8 or 8.5. But because I could see it coming. But you let me know. Try to keep the reviews spoiler free. Whatever your thoughts are, just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. As a reminder, I'm not a literary critic. I didn't study English or literary criticism in college. I studied political science. I actually taught as a political science major too, as an adjunct lecturer at Eastern Michigan University too. That's what I was trained on, right? So I'm just a fan, right? So that means your opinion, right, is just going to be as valid, right, as mine, right? So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Just share them with me. Again, keep it spoiler free. I gave the setup and that sort of thing that we find in the first couple pages, and then I sort of let it do. Again, I'll get to you for free online in case you're interested in checking it out, because most of this stuff is for free online on eldritchdark.com. All right, so there you go. I try to do 3 of these reviews of older things each week, right, and such. And then I also spend some other 4 times a week. I also spend on serials on Saturday, which is a forgotten sort of serials telling genres of things. And on Wednesday, I do older reviews of video games, although I might do 1 or 2 here and there that I just purchased and picked out. And then on Wednesday, I do, I still do it. And then on Monday, I do reviews of older things in either war games like Battletech or RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, like modules and that sort of thing, and then on Fridays I do top 10s of things too, like top 10 movies, top 10 comics, musical artists, that sort of thing too. Typically movies. So, alrighty, so there you go. So if you like those things, as well as the 3 that I do of these older things in the 3 genres that I cover, then definitely welcome to the channel. Have a seat. I think you'll enjoy yourself quite a bit. Right? Just do all the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the like button to be notified of my videos. I'll hit the bell icon rather, if you're feeling frisky, and then also share and watch. Alrighty, and so there you are. As you can tell from the channel's name and the passion, all the things that we cover from these older things, that's the worst thing about new books. It's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And that sort of thing. Not that the new ones are bad, they're actually not, right? But in our passion for the new book, in this case, the new video game, the new movie, right? In our passion for the new stuff, we've forgotten that these are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? So let's go check out those giants, right? And those things that we might have influenced that we might not have thought about, right? And that sort of thing. So that's where the channel and the titles come from. And it's the passion of the channel too, is find these older things for it, right? Like the Ghoul. Alright, now I wouldn't be surprised if the Ghoul here influences the Ghoul character in Dungeons & Dragons, just like a lot of things that he did. Like his so the 7 Gaseouses, which heavily influenced early D&D, or Castle Amber's module. And that sort of thing. So I would not be surprised if this also influences where the Ghoul comes from. Alrighty, so there you are. I want to thank you so very, very much, for just taking some time out of your day and just investing it, right, and watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.